Yup. Peace. And guess what? The truth is really crystal clear. But guess what? A lot of people lack courage. They ain't never been brave in their life. So why would you think that these people that ain't, they just go with the flow of everything. They just do what everybody else is doing. So if you like that, why would God, why would Allah put these kind of people in the positions to be the ones that come out and say the truth or represent the truth or call people to the truth when they know that these people, if I'm talking to you, then I'm talking to you. You never had no courage to be on no truth. You never had no courage to be on nothing other than what everybody else is on. So why would you get the task of either living on the truth or telling the truth? Nah, you wouldn't get it. You're gonna give it to somebody who got courage enough to be on that. You know what I'm saying? That's why I say you best thing you need to do is learn, because I done learned so much over the years about myself, as well as learn about what reality is in truth. And and I come to find out that when I was at my strongest, yeah, this, that, and the other, and all that, I was at my dumbest state. Now I'm at my smartest state, for real, and I'm more like reserved. Like I don't want to push nobody past a limit they can't take, because a lot of times, the more you realize and the more you learn, rather, you may go in and out of like your in and out of sanity. Not like that, like you go crazy, but you can't go crazy from this information. You can't go crazy when you realize that everything's a lie. You can't go crazy when you become so super sensitive, because the more you know, the more sensitive you become to reality, to like really what's going on. So like you also start being able to see the devil in people. The same way, if you are fortunate enough to run across another godly individual, you will see it in them. You'll feel it. You'll see it. You only have to. You ain't no big. You know what I'm saying? And most time, these kind of people be trying to run away from you anyway, in general, just because godly people know that you can't be around people like that. You just can't. But that's another story. I'm trying to stick to just, I don't want to just talk about what I started off with. But, everybody, man, but I'm just saying, the religious, through religion, if you really pay attention to the details, you'll realize that a lot of the stuff with the high conscious stuff, we already been advised of this stuff. We already know it from religion. You see what I'm saying? The strangeness of the strangers. The meaning, like in Islam, we were taught about the times when the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said he gave glad tidings to the strangers. And he was asked, peace be upon him, who are the strangers? But that's, I can't verbatim, because I always think about that. But the strangers, because Islam would be strange in these times. True Islam. That's why, somebody might look at you strange for doing certain things. Like, you strange for like having hair on your head. Though all of the prophets, including Muhammad, peace be upon him, had hair on their head. Nobody was walking around with, they wasn't walking around with fades. They had afros, man, halos. They had halos, or they had locks. So why, when you see somebody with locks, or you see somebody put a turban, a wrap on their head to cover that, why is that so strange? People find that strange. But that's the culture and the way of the people who have always existed in every time. The people that's close to Allah, close to God, close to the Most High. You know what I'm saying? And these people act strangely. They always act different than the big group of people. While the group of people, they still trying to do, and guess what? And you got all the people justifying what they do, and justifying, you know what I'm saying? It was always like that, line for line. Open up the Quran or open up the Bible and find yourself. Meaning, find yourself. Find who you act like in these books, because it's describing people. And the same people that existed then is existing now. Believe that, because the souls don't do nothing but recycle. That's another story. But the souls recycle. So the same people that's existing now, it was existing then. But time is not what you think. So it's the past and the present and the future is all going on at the same time. So you got the soul is experiencing multiple timelines simultaneously. That's a whole other thing. But guess what? It's real though, and it ain't nothing crazy. But the strangers, let me get back to that. The people who are operating on a high level. What you supposed to look like? You supposed to look rich? Are you poor? The strangers in the Bible. The strangers in the Quran. The strangers that accompany Muhammad. Peace be upon him. The strangers that accompany Drew Ali. Okay. And any other prophet and messenger that came over time to try to lead his people away from oppression. Okay. The strangers are always, first of all, the strangers have bravery. You got to be brave to go and follow Drew Ali. You got to be brave to go follow Muhammad. You got to be brave to go follow Jesus. Whether you believe these people who was real and existed or not. But go in the books and find yourself and see who you act like. Are you you laughing at people? Look at him. He tripping, man. He going against the grain. He doing this. He doing that. Guess what? That's what they said about. Okay, I know the most. I know a lot. But I'm gonna tell this. Muhammad, peace be upon him. He went from being al-Amin. He went from being trustworthy to when he came out and told the people to go against what they was doing. Then they called him insane. He went from being al-Amin to al-Majnoon. Think about that. This is how. Guess what? Most of the people out here, and I ain't trying to put no focus on me, but guess what? It is what it is. And you know what? At the end of the day gonna end. And you know what? If you don't know nothing, you could just walk around and just be happy. You could just walk around and think you can just follow something, and that's all it's gonna be. But guess what? Half of y'all been in the church and the masjid, and half of y'all still doing the same things, man. The church and the masjid ain't stopped you from being a fornicator. Not even for a little while. I'm just saying, I'm using that because guess what? And that's against the rules. Right? Or guess what? Going to church, going to the masjid ain't stop you from being a backbiter. You still a backbiter. You don't do nothing but talk about people. As soon as you have a conversation with somebody and they walk away, you talking about them. You know what I mean? The church and the masjid ain't stop you from dealing with people dishonestly and telling lies. You see what I'm saying? So what really truly do matter? Do it matter that you follow a group or you follow that big group? Because ultimately you're going to expire and you're going to be by yourself. Somebody going to find you. Right? The same way you came into this world. You came in by yourself and you're going to leave by yourself. Think about that. So really, your deeds, what you do in your life is only going to really affect you, and no matter what ultimate ending you manifest for yourself is going to be based on your deeds. You know what I'm saying? And on and on and on and on. It's a lot of different worlds, a lot of different realities that one can find themselves in. But I'm just talking. But everybody ain't the same. I ain't trying to get nobody hype. I would like to see people. I do see people doing it though. But I'm just talking. But I like to see people working on themselves. I like to see people doing something other than the mainstream stuff that's just programming. And I'm not saying you ain't go off wild and just start doing crazy, the foolishness. What I'm saying is go off script just a little bit in the beginning. Just go off script just a little bit. Stop saying you black. How about, that's big, that's small, but it's big. Because that shit don't make no sense. Especially being I ain't never seen nobody with no black damn skin. I ain't never seen nobody with no white skin either. I never seen that shit. Never seen a white person. What kind of shit is that? That's something legal. That's a political. That's something political. So stop saying this shit. Like, you know what I mean? It's stupid. Especially black. Because white is means something positive. Black means something bad.